Coming in at number 9 now, we have Shanti Devi. She was born in India in 1926, and when she was 4 years old, she told her parents that her real home was in Mathura, 145 kilometers away, and that was where her husband lives. She told her teacher that she had died 10 days after giving birth to a child. Her teacher noticed she also spoke like someone from Mathura. Then she said her husband's name was Kedar Nath. The teacher found a man by that name in Mathura. He had lost his wife 9 years ago, 10 days after she gave birth to their son. Her name was Lugdi Devi, the same surname. Kedar came to meet Shanti and pretended to be his own brother, but Shanti instantly recognized him. A full report on the case was ordered by Mahatma Gandhi himself, and they found it to be all true. At number 8 now, we have Ryan. This boy from the Midwest claimed that he was Marty Martin, a movie extra who became a Hollywood agent. He pointed to him in a picture and said that was him. His parents were skeptical because Ryan said he had traveled the world on big boats, danced on Broadway, and had a big house with a swimming pool. That didn't really sound like the life of a film extra. But they were amazed to find that it was all true. He was a dancer on Broadway, he then moved to LA to work as an agent and had a big house with a pool. Alright, at number 7 now, we have Cameron McCauley. When he was 2 years old, this boy from Glasgow started talking about life on Barra, a remote island off the coast of Scotland to which Cameron had never been before. For 3 years, all he seemed to talk about was his Barra home, his friends and his family there. He said his dad was called Shane Robertson, he was killed by a car, and he missed his mum so badly he was in genuine distress. His parents finally decided to take him to Barra. A documentary crew joined them. They were amazed by how many things Cameron got right. It was the tiny details, everything from his dog's breed, the colour of his house, even the view from the window. If you're interested to hear more on this, the full documentary is actually on YouTube. Alright, at the number 5 spot now, we have Hunter. This was the name given to a 3-year-old boy who claimed he was the reincarnation of legendary golfer Bobby Jones. He pointed at him in a picture and said, "That's me," and then did the same thing with a photo of Bobby Jones's childhood home, and he said it was his own home. The details that Hunter remembered might have just been a coincidence, but there was one other thing. Hunter was insanely good at golf. By the age of 7, he had won 41 out of 50 junior tournaments, including 21 in a row. Now, is it a coincidence that a golfing child prodigy claims they were the reincarnation of an actual legendary golfer? I don't know. What do you guys think?
In our 9th spot, we have the bad man. And if you guys are liking this video so far, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up because it really helps us out. This next story was shared by a man named Halar. According to him, his cousin remembers his past life. In fact, he had some pretty creepy dark things to say about it. He said that he was once a man named Ghazi, but he died after some bad guy cut off his fingers one by one. Then he got run over by a jeep. After that, he was reborn into the man he is today. I mean, that's a pretty terrifying thing to remember if you ask me. Starting off this countdown, we have Sylvester Stallone. According to famous actor Sylvester Stallone, he remembers 4 of his past lives. Yes, 4. Him and his mother are super believers in reincarnation. His mother, Jacqueline, also claims to be a psychic and astrologer. In one of Stallone's past lives, he remembers being a soldier in the French Revolution. In fact, he believes he died after losing his head. According to him, he was reading about that time period. Someone was like, "Ow, the guillotine, that must hurt." And he replied with, "Oh no, it doesn't hurt. You don't feel anything, except your head hit the basket." How would he know that? So that's when he knew that he was once a victim of the guillotine. Not only that, but he believes he was actually once a boxer in his past life and was killed by a knockout punch. And he also believes that he was once a Guatemalan monkey. So, yeah, pretty crazy. In our 9th spot, we have Stevie Nicks. Fleetwood Mac singer Stevie Nicks believes that she was a monk in her past life. In a 1982 interview, she said, and I quote, "I think I spent a lot of time in old churches, like a monk. I am very comfortable around that kind of music, with that kind of creeping around, with being very quiet." Not only that, but she also believes she was beheaded in another one of her past lives. Currently, she has difficulties holding up her head and has a weak neck. She thinks this is because in her past life, she was beheaded. In another interview, she said, and I quote, "See, I think you live on Earth a certain number of times until you finish what it is that you were meant to do here. And then you go on. I don't think I'll be back. I think I am done." So you heard it here. Stevie Nicks thinks that she won't be reincarnated again. She feels satisfied with her life. Coming in at number 8, we have Keith Urban. This one is quite funny, not gonna lie. But Keith Urban believes that he was a court jester in his past life during the Middle Ages in Germany. That's pretty much all I could find on this. It was posted on a reincarnation forum, but I wasn't actually able to find the interview where Keith himself said this. But in a way, it's fascinating. Like, he was a performer in his past life, and now he's a performer now. Pretty cool, if you ask me. In our 7th spot, we have Kate Beckinsale. During an interview on The Late Show with David Letterman to promote the movie Underworld Awakening, Kate said some pretty interesting things. In the interview, she said that for weeks she was having Vietnam flashbacks. Letterman asked, "Were you ever in Vietnam?" And she said, "I feel like I was." That's all that was said, but a webpage called the Reincarnation Forum took this literally, as if she was having visions of her past life in Vietnam. They went on to point out that the United States military actions in Vietnam lasted until 1973. Kate Beckinsale was born in 1973. So could it be that she is the reincarnation of a Vietnam casualty? Coming in at number 6, we have Steven Seagal. In the Buddhist community, Steven Seagal is believed to be the reincarnation of the 17th century translator and teacher Turan Chungdrag Dorg. According to Seagal, from the age of 7, he knew something was up. In fact, he said he has the power of astral projection. He spent some time in Japan, and while there, he learned who he was in his past life. Proclaimed Tibetan spiritual leader Penor Rinpoche said he recognized Stephen as Chungdrag Dorg. In fact, Stephen could identify all of his old possessions. But a lot of people are skeptical. They think that Stephen bribed this man to make such claims. But honestly, who really knows? We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Patrick Swayze. When Patrick Swayze was alive, he believed that he and his wife were lovers in a past life. He truly believed that he knew her from before. Then in another interview, he revealed that he used to have reoccurring memories of being a warrior and passing away at battle. Not only that, while he was in the UK for several months, he told an interviewer, and I quote, "Oh my God, London, I love this city and feel as if I was in a past life an Englishman." So for sure, Patrick was open to the idea of reincarnation and might have been reincarnated multiple times. Moving on to number 4, we have Miley Cyrus. Now this one is a little bit on the weirder side, but Miley Cyrus said that she was Lil' Kim in a past life. Only thing is that Lil' Kim is still alive, and that's not exactly how reincarnation works. But in an interview, Miley told Billboard magazine, and I quote, "In my past life, I feel like that was me. I feel like Lil' Kim is who I am on the inside. She just makes me happy. I just love her, and I can't help that I love her." Not only that, in one of Miley's older songs, she makes several references to reincarnation. She said, and I quote, "I've got a way of knowing when something is right. I feel like I must have known you in another life, because I felt this deep connection when you looked in my eyes. Now I can't wait to see you again." The line, "I can't wait to see you again," can be interpreted as "see you again in another life." Whoever that song was about, Miley feels like she has known them from before in her past life. In our 3rd spot, we have Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga believes that she is the reincarnation of her aunt, Joanne Germanotta, who passed away at a very young age from lupus. Lady Gaga said that she never met her aunt, but she always felt this deep connection to her. Not only that, but her family all say she looks incredibly similar to her aunt. She believes that her aunt has some unfinished business on Earth, so that's why she was reincarnated as Gaga. She told Daily Star UK, and I quote, "I believe that I had a reincarnation and believe that you can be reborn over and over again. I believe I was my father's sister, and her spirit is with me. I believe I am her reincarnation." Also, let me know in the comments below, do you believe in reincarnation? Moving on to number 2, we have John Lennon. John Lennon remembers being 2 different famous figures in society. He believes that he was Jesus Christ and Napoleon. In 1968, Lennon called a meeting with his bandmates to tell them he believed he is the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. I mean, he was high as a kite at the time, but even when he sobered up, he still felt like Jesus. In the Ballad of John and Yoko, he makes reference to Christ and crucifixion. Not only that, but in Lennon's biography, The Lives of John Lennon, author Albert Goldman said John thought he and Yoko were lovers in their past lives as well, saying he was once a pharaoh and her a queen in ancient Egypt. Not only that, but Lennon thought he was Napoleon and Yoko Josephine, Napoleon's lover. He truly believed that they were together in several different past lives. Like, how romantic is that? Seriously, that's so cute. In our number 1 spot, we have Tina Turner. In 1977, Tina Turner visited a psychic that told her that she once lived in ancient Egypt in her past life. Since then, Turner has convinced herself that she was once the pharaoh Hatshepsut from 15th century BC. Since then, she feels a deep connection to Egypt. She spends her holidays there and everything. In an interview, Tina said, and I quote, "That strange feeling of recognition became very strong when I was in Egypt, at excavations, and saw images of Amenhotep, a pharaoh from the 18th dynasty. Something strange happened to me. I knew that I was one of the portrayed figures, that I had lived there in that time." That's kind of cool. Like, imagine being a pharaoh in your past life, and then you're reborn and you're a freaking famous singer. That's amazing. In our 6th spot, we have James Leininger. James was born in 1998, and ever since he was 2, he talked about being a lieutenant that passed away when his plane was shot down. At first, his parents brushed off their son's claim, saying that he just had a wild imagination. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know of any kids that know the word lieutenant at that age. But anyways, eventually they were forced to believe that their son was telling the truth, because his nightmares about this plane crash got really bad. When they researched into this plane crash, they found that there was an American pilot named Lieutenant James Houston Jr., who passed away in 1945 towards the end of World War II. Now, the lieutenant story was a perfect match to the one that James was sharing. First off, what are the odds that he gets reincarnated and his parents literally pick the same name? His parents then met Lieutenant James's crew, who were old, but they confirmed the details that little James mentioned, saying that they were all accurate, and only the lieutenant and the crew could have known that. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the soldier. This story was shared by Reddit user Thorny Dame. One night she had a vivid dream about being a male soldier in a war. The dream ended when she got shot in the leg. In fact, she woke up in immense pain. Her leg was throbbing. When she pulled up her pants to see if her leg was okay, she discovered a birthmark there that she had never seen before. The birthmark was in the exact place where she had been shot in the dream. So this woman believes that she was a male soldier in her past life, who passed away while on duty. Moving on to number 4, we have the Great Aunt. Okay, buckle your seatbelts, because this one is quite crazy. So this was shared on Reddit by the user CPAZ Grayvoodle. When she was in junior high, she came downstairs one morning and shared a weird dream that she had. The dream was that she had a baby and kept it in a shoebox. She thought it was just a random crazy dream, but according to her mom, that's what her relatives did to her great aunt. I know, it's so messed up, but let me explain. So her great aunt was born in 1905 and was a premature baby. Apparently her parents kept her in a shoebox in the gas oven. The oven was not on, okay? Only the light was on. It was basically like a DIY incubator. She passed away in her 50s from cancer. But get this. Over the years, this woman shared more and more similarities with her great aunt. She would go to her grandparents' house and say like, "Ooh, I like this." Turns out everything that she liked was her great aunt's. Then one time she went to a family gathering and old acquaintances of her great aunt were there. As she entered the living room, she saw this old lady and immediately had a hate on for her. She had no clue who she was or why she felt so negative about her. Well, it turns out that that woman had an affair with her great aunt's husband while she was sick of cancer. So this girl believes that she is the reincarnation of her great aunt. Coming in at number 3, we have Frozen. This next story was shared by a man named Paul V. For the longest time, Paul was certain that he knew the way he was going to pass away. And that's because he kept having reoccurring dreams where he would freeze to death. In the dreams, he saw himself laying in the snow, frozen, and then he saw his soul rise out of his body. After experiencing this dream for a number of times, he realized that it wasn't a prediction for the way that he was going to die, but it was a memory from his past life. He realized that this had already happened to him, and that's how his past life ended. Pretty spooky if you ask me. Moving on to number 2, we have Virginia Woolf. Okay, this next story fascinates me. So this woman's daughter might have been famous writer Virginia Woolf in her past life. So when she was 12, she would have dreams about being underwater and seeing faces underwater. Not only that, but one day she just started talking about Virginia Woolf, and she knew so much information about her. Well, when they looked her up, the day that she had the dream about being underwater was the anniversary of Virginia Woolf's death by drowning. Well, you know, that's freaky. Not only that, but Virginia Woolf and the daughter are prolific writers and both bisexual. So it may just be that her daughter is Virginia Woolf reincarnated.